I'm Rahul Kashyap, the Chief Technology Officer for Cylance, and along with me is Anurag Kahol, who's the CTO for Bitglass. Welcome, Anurag.
Thank you, Rahul.
And thanks to our recent alliance between our companies, we can now extend cyber threat prevention into a whole new environment, the cloud, mobile, and bring your own device or BYOD ecosystem. This dynamic environment, the perimeter has shifted and expanded, and security has become a multi-dimensional problem.
The new mobility and cloud-based architecture that most enterprises are moving towards are causing all the boundaries that security was kind of tied to before to disappear. The old architecture was much more around preventing attacks, preventing things on known variables, where you had your networks that you controlled, you had your servers on which you ran your applications that you controlled, and devices that were fully in your control. And in that model, a much more static model of security worked. Every device that you can touch can essentially now go and log into your Office 365 account and essentially interact with that data. And malware, of course, is something that is changing so much. So the only techniques that really work to solve these problems are these machine learning and AI-based solutions. And that's another great sort of synergy I feel between Cylance and Bitglass is where Bitglass uses a lot of those techniques towards this whole jungle of applications, where every application can have so many different ways in which it can actually access data back and forth from the device to the cloud. And the only way you can actually handle that sort of thing is through actually machine learning models to be able to take any application and put it into a controlled environment. And maybe you can talk a little bit about the Cylance use of machine learning.
Yeah. So what we have fundamentally done is we have kind of pushed or rather nudged the industry forward in terms of going out of the old school thought of looking at cyber threats using signatures and behaviors and patterns. So we have taken a leapfrog in terms of technology by automating and building out what we call as models using true AI, which are designed for prevention. So this is a very unique example from an integration point of view, where we kind of expand our offerings, which is kind of currently focused on the endpoint, to the cloud, because the OEM engine, which is embedded in the Bitglass cloud now, it is analyzing every file that comes to the Bitglass cloud, so that every customer, when they download that file back, they know that it's safe. So this really expands our reach and kind of gives us a whole new variety of visibility. For example, dark devices which are unmanaged. Now we have access to those. With this integration, we can now provide our users access to Cylance technologies on those devices. Anurag, do you want to talk a little bit about the OEM integration and the benefits?
Yeah. So what we have done as part of the partnership is now we are able to run the Cylance engine as part of the Bitglass cloud. So now when any user from a company is essentially accessing data in the cloud from any device, from anywhere, we can actually run the Cylance engine for any files being uploaded or downloaded, for any data at rest repositories, for example. So if you have your data sitting in S3, Bitglass can go and scan it using the Cylance engine. If a user is downloading data to an unmanaged device that does not have the Cylance engine on the endpoint, now Bitglass can actually scan the file before it goes to that endpoint. Or the other direction, where I'm trying to upload data to the cloud, I can actually run Cylance, which was previously not possible.
I'm excited to kind of prevent the malware spread from from the endpoints all the way to the cloud, including cloud applications and API scans, and with all of those new capabilities, suddenly you have an access to a whole new world of what we were not covering earlier. So pretty excited to have this integration.